Hello and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be doing the beginning of the year booktube tag, which I'm very excited about. I first saw this on Shaw Reads All Day's account, but the original creator of this tag is Rereads, so I will link both of them down below and their original videos. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. So there are about 17 questions for this tag, and question number 1 is, how many books are you planning on reading in 2025? So my Goodreads and Storygraph goals are both set for 25 books. I usually, for the past couple years, I have been reading about 50-ish books, so that is probably what I'm going to end up reading, but I wanted to set a lower goal just to kind of take the pressure off of myself to not feel the need to be reading every single second, and also to just give myself more time and freedom to do other hobbies, because as I can read 50 books in a month, it kind of just takes me needing to read every single free second I have, and so I wanted to just relieve that pressure a little bit. Question number 2 is a book that you are likely to reread this year. The one I am more than likely going to reread this year is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo and the duology in general. This is one of my absolute favorite books, and before I kind of fell off reading for a few years, I reread this every single year, and it has been a while, and I have been itching for a reread. This is just one of my favorite stories, some of my favorite characters, and as you can tell, I tabbed a lot of it, so I just need to reread it. It's time. It's been a while. So the next question is a priority read on your 2025 TBR, and that would be the Legendborn Cycle series. I have been needing to read this for like over a year now since I first heard about it. I've had it on my TBR for a while, and I finally need to get it. So in January, I did start the first book, which I am loving. So I'm planning on finishing it and then diving into the sequel, which is Bloodmarked, and the third book, Oathbound, comes out in March, I believe. Question number 4 is something new you want to read, whether that be genres or tropes. And for me this year, I definitely want to give more of horror a try, particularly botanical horror. I finished a book last year called Don't Let the Forest In by C.G. Drews, which is one of my absolute favorite reads of the year. And it kind of is a dark cottagecore botanical horror. And I do not usually read horror, but I absolutely love that. So I feel like that might be my niche of horror to dive into. So I definitely want to try more of that, as well as I want to read more vampire books. I never really hopped onto the vampire trend when it was super popular with Twilight and all of that stuff, and I don't think I've ever actually really read a vampire book. So I definitely have a couple on my TBR that I would love to get to this year. So the next question is, what is a popular book that you want to read? And I have a couple answers for this one. The first one being Immortal Dark, and this is an Ethiopian-inspired vampire novel, and I have heard nothing but good things about this. It sounds like it's going to be absolutely gorgeous, and I just love this cover, so I definitely want to dive into this one this year. My second one is one that I really wanted to get to last year but never got around to, and that is One Dark Window, which is a duology. I have heard literally nothing but good things about this, and I have been wanting to read it for so long, and I have just been putting it off, and I'm not sure why, but I feel like I'm gonna love this. I'm trying not to get my expectations up too high, because I feel like every time I get my expectations up super high, I'm like a little disappointed in the book, but I think I'm going to enjoy this one. Next question is most anticipated 2025 book release, and I have quite a few of these, but the two that I think I'm most excited for are Warrior Princess Assassin by Bridget Kimmerer, which is going to be her first adult fantasy that is coming out later this year. And it sounds so good. I have absolutely loved everything by Bridget Kimmerer that I have read, and I'm just so excited to see what she does with an adult novel. I think my second most anticipated release is Where Shadows Meet by Patricia Cadwell, which is a new author to me, and this is going to be a new book, and I am so excited. This sounds like it's vampires and angels, and I believe it is sapphic, and it just sounds like it's going to be really, really good. So I'm excited to get to this one. Next question is a bookish goal for 2025. So my two biggest goals, in general, my main goal is just to read more diversely, but I have a specific goal to read 50% BIPOC authors this year, as well as to just continue to read more queer books, and specifically I would like 50% of my queer books to be sapphic books. So those are my two big bookish goals this year. The next question is a book that's been on your TBR that you probably are not going to read. And for me, that is probably going to be The Sisters of the Winter Wood by Renee Rosner. And I've had this for so long now. I got it at the thrift store and I just have not reached for it. I have not picked it up, and I have just been prioritizing other reads, and I feel like this is just a book that I'm not going to end up reading. And I'm not sure why, because it sounds like something I would enjoy, but it's just not something I've reached for. So the next question is a series you want to read this year. I already mentioned the Legendborn cycle, which is a series I really want to get to. But on top of that, I really, really want to get to the Divine Traders duology. I believe this is a completed duology. The second book comes out either this month or sometime very soon. The first book is So Let Them Burn by Camilla Cole. This sounds so good. All I really know about this book is that it is sapphic and involves dragons, which is honestly all I really need to know about this. I have heard really good things about this so far, so I'm very excited to get to this and to dive into the sequel as well. So next question is, what are your auto-buy authors going into 2025? And my two auto-buy authors right now that I know are releasing books this year are Bridget Kimmer and Travis Baltry. I have loved everything I have read by these two authors, and I will just instantly buy anything that they release, and I am so excited for the new releases that are coming this year. So the next question is a sequel you are anticipating, and speaking of Bridget Kimmer and Travis Baltry, those are the two sequels that I'm anticipating, the first one being Carving Shadows into Gold. This is the sequel to Forging Silver into Stars, which is a spin-off series of her A Curse of Dark and Lonely series. I really, really loved book one, and this has been my most anticipated sequel for this year, and just in general one of my most anticipated reads, and I'm so excited to finally have it in my hands and to read it. I am waiting just a little bit to dive into it, but I'm very excited about this. And later this year, Travis Baltry comes out with the third book in the Legends and Lattes series, which is Brigades and Bread Knives. And this is a story that is going to be about Fern, which is the bookshop owner that we learn about, and that is in Bookshops and Bone Dust. And I am just so excited. I have loved both Bookshops and Bone Dust and Legends and Lattes, so I'm very, very excited to get another book from Travis Baltry. So the next question is bookish things that we are leaving in 2024. And my biggest thing that I am trying to leave behind in 2024 is the inability to DNF books. I so often just push through books that I am not really enjoying, and I am very much trying to not do that anymore. It is very hard for me because I just always want to give books a try. I always want to like keep going and see if it gets better. And a lot of times it just doesn't, and it ends up being an average book. And I just need to learn to just not do that, and to just DNF books, and to just start books that you know that you are going to enjoy. The next question is what to expect from this account. And in general, I just want to continue making content. I want to keep up with posting weekly. I've been having a really good time making videos for booktube again, and I just want to continue with that. I want to continue doing book reviews and to promote diverse books, and to just hopefully talk about my favorite books and give you guys new favorite books. And I also would just love for you guys to see improvement in my channel, and that is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to improve my quality in filming, my quality in making thumbnails and graphics and all of that stuff. So I just want to continue to improve as well. The next question is, how has your reading taste evolved from last year? And within a year, I don't know if my reading taste has evolved a super ton, but I am reading a lot more diversely than I was a few years ago. And I am just trying to be a lot more intentional with what I'm reading. And that is definitely something that is different than my reading just a couple of years ago, with just me trying to be more intentional with what I'm consuming, which authors I'm promoting and talking about. So the next question is booktube creators that inspire you, and I have quite a few, but the couple that are off the top of my head are Lexi, aka Newly Nova, Dee Freder, and Jose Orlando. I absolutely love their content. Jose Orlando I knew on TikTok. He is new to booktube, but I have just been loving their content. They're just huge inspirations for me, and I just love how open and loud and proud they are, and just they're very entertaining, very funny. So I love watching their content, and they're big inspirations for me. And the last question is something you want to say to anyone that wants to start a bookish account. And everyone says this, but I'm gonna say it again. Just do it. I know there's so many things that hold people back, that make them anxious, that make them nervous, but just do it. You learn along the way, you learn how to improve, you learn what you like and what people like and what was received well. And if you start off talking about books that you're passionate about, people will come, people will watch your content, and people love watching people passionately talk about things that they love. So just do it. Just do it. So those are all of the questions for the beginning of the year booktube tag. I had a lot of fun answering these. I hope you enjoyed this. Definitely let me know down below what some of your most anticipated 2025 reads are for the year. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!